debit VAT control account 20, credit VAT liability. This VAT liability now is what will be recorded in the balance sheet as a liability, okay? So that shows that this is the amount that I owe to HMRC. So once you now make this payment to HMRC, you now do what? Debit VAT liability, okay, 20, and then you credit expense within the profit and loss statement 20, and that closes off the whole cycle of this account. Hello, welcome back again to the channel. I hope you all are good. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Victoria, and on this channel I share about accounting. I share my accounting knowledge for free without any charge. Yeah, you can check out my other videos and I'm sure it's going to be of interest to you. However, in today's video I have an interesting topic to share with you guys. We're going to be discussing about VAT and how to account for VAT. So if this video interests you, keep watching and don't forget to like, subscribe if you have not done so, and leave your comments or your question down in the comment section and I'll do well to answer you. So let's get right into today's video. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys how to account for VAT. Okay, so we will understand what VAT is and different type of VAT scheme and VAT rate and how to account for it within the book. Let's first of all understand what VAT is. Okay, VAT is an indirect tax. It's a kind of tax that is charged on the goods and services, on vatable goods and services. These VATs are usually filed to HMRC quarterly, every quarter. However, depending on the kind of VAT scheme that you're in, you might have the option to file your VAT once a year. So there are two types of VAT. We have input VAT, we have output VAT. Input VAT is a kind of VAT that is charged to you when you purchase goods and services from your suppliers, okay? And this VAT, this input VAT can be reclaimed back from HMRC if you are VAT registered. We also have output VAT. Output VAT is a kind of VAT that you charge to your customers when you sell goods and services to your customers. And you can charge VAT on the goods and services sold to your customers if only you are VAT registered. So for you to be able to be VAT registered, you must meet the threshold. And the threshold is that your turnover should be up to £90,000. So once you meet this threshold, it is mandatory for you to register for VAT. However, you can also register for VAT voluntarily if you think that you're going to meet that threshold within 12 months period. It is very, very beneficial for you to register for VAT if you think that your business is going to meet that threshold within 12 months period. In that way, you are eligible to claim back your input VAT. If you are not VAT registered, you cannot reclaim back your input VAT. And if you're not VAT registered, you cannot add VAT to the goods and services that you sell to your customers. So now let's understand different types of VAT scheme. We have standard VAT scheme, and it operates on accrual-based principle, meaning that you pay HMRC VAT that you charge to your customers upon sales of goods and services, not when you receive the money from your customers. So as soon as you make a sale, okay, that VAT is payable to HMRC, regardless of whether you have received the money from the customer or not. So it basically operates on accrual-based principle. We also have flat rate scheme. In this scheme, HMRC allocates a fixed percentage that you have to apply to your gross turnover, okay? Regardless of whether you made more or you made less sales, okay? You just apply that fixed percentage. It is very, very good for small business owners, and it also helps, you know, in cash flow. We also have cash VAT scheme. So cash VAT scheme is applicable to businesses that operate on cash basis. So you only pay HMRC when your customers has paid you, unlike the standard VAT scheme where you have to pay HMRC as soon as you made a sale. We also have marginal scheme. This kind of scheme is applicable to businesses that deals in second-hand goods like second-hand cars, second-hand product. How it works is that you pay VAT on the margin of your sale. Let's say your selling price is this and your cost price is this, so you have to pay VAT on the difference between your selling price and the cost price instead of paying VAT on the selling price. Do you understand? So that's how marginal scheme works. Finally, we have annual accounting scheme. In this scheme, you are allowed to pay VAT annually. This is mostly for businesses that does a lot of sales. So instead of filing your accounts quarterly, spending money, for VAT preparation and all that, HMRC gives the options for you to file your VAT once a year. Okay, so moving on, let's understand the different type of VAT rate that we have. We have standard rate. This is applicable to most products, most goods and services sold here in the UK, and it's 20%. Okay, we also have reduced rate, that is 5%. This is applicable to electricity bills and all that. We also have zero rated goods and exempt, that are goods that are totally exempt from VAT. Okay, so this is the basic overview of VAT. Now let's understand how VAT are usually accounted for within the books. So let me give you guys a simple example of how to account for VAT on purchases and VAT on sales. Let's start with VAT on purchases. Let's say that we bought goods on credit and is worth 1,100 exclusive of VAT. Okay, that means that you have to apply 20% to this 1,100, and that will give you 220, right? So in total we have 1,320 worth of goods that we bought. And we also have we also sold goods on credit. Okay, we sold goods worth 1,200 exclusive of VAT. Okay, so we have to apply 20% to that 1,200, and it's going to give us 240, right? So in total we have 1,440, okay, worth of goods that was sold. So in order to account for this, you have to think of the accounts that these items are going to affect. We bought goods, so which account is it going to affect? Of course, it's going to affect your purchases. Okay, it's going to affect your payable because you haven't paid for this yet. So we open purchases. Purchases can also mean inventory, right? So you have the option to call it purchases or inventory, but I'm going to call it purchases. Yeah, and here is debit, here is credit, and we know that purchases is a debit balance, inventory is an asset, it is a debit balance. It's going to affect our purchases, and also it's going to affect our payable. Okay, because we haven't paid for this yet, and it is also going to affect our VAT control account. Okay, so this is debit, this is credit, debit, credit, right? Okay, so now let's record this. We bought goods worth 1,320. So within your purchases, okay, you are going to record the worth of the goods that you bought, and in this case it is 110. Okay, we know that the total goods that we bought is 1,320, and 220 applies to the VAT. So we debit 1,100 here, and then we go down to VAT control account, we record the 220. So when you put this together, it amounts to 1,320. So now the account payable, this can be the customer account, right, or sales ledger control account, or payable account, whichever name you choose to call it. So this payable account is a liability account because you have not really paid for it, so it's going to be a credit balance. So in total, we are going to be paying our supplier, okay, whoever that supplied the good to us, we're going to be paying them, okay, 1,320. All right, you see, our credit equal our debit. Okay, we have two debits, we have credit. So now we have fully accounted for the thing that we bought, right? Secondly, we sold goods worth 1,440. Okay, so when you make a sale, which account does it affect? Of course, it's going to affect your sales. Okay, we made a sale, okay, and that sale is worth 1,440, right? We also going to open another account called receivable. Okay, this is debit, this is credit. Okay, and finally we also have VAT, because it's going to affect our VAT. So we made a sale, and that sale is worth how much? 1,200. So we're going to record sales, which is a credit balance 1,200. We also have a VAT, and the amount is 240. It's going to be on the credit side, 240. Okay, and this amount has to be paid by our customer, and they are yet to pay. So they're going to be paying us the sum of the total. Okay, and we're going to say debit 1,440. You see, credit together, they are worth this, right? So at the end of the quarter, we have to file our VAT return, right? And let's just assume that we have standard VAT scheme that allows us to pay for our VAT when we made a sale, not necessarily when we receive the money from our customer. So moving on, we're going to understand how to balance off the VAT control accounts so that we can be able to ascertain how much we are liable to pay to HMRC-ready, or how much HMRC-ready will refund us. So at the end of the quarter, we're going to balance off our VAT control account. Okay, so we have 240 balance. What's the difference here? Is 20. We say carried down. Okay, and this side we say brought down. Okay, so 20. So at the end of the quarter, we have 20 on the credit side, 20 at the credit side, meaning that this money, okay, is owed to HMRC. So now we have closed up this account. We're going to close up this account by doing what? We're going to be, debiting and crediting. What are you going to debit and credit? In order to close up this account and make it zero, right? We're going to be debiting VAT control account, okay? VAT control account 20, and then we're going to credit VAT liability account, okay, 20. Okay, so this account has cleared off, nothing remaining in this account. Immediately you debit, okay, because this is originally a credit side, we have an amount that balances on the credit side, right? In order to make this VAT control account zero, okay, we have to debit VAT control account, right? Let's imagine that you just debit VAT control account here. The balance will now be 0, 0. That's what we just did. But when you're using software, okay, you can't just do it this way. This is manual accounting. However, if you're using software, you have to simply do journal entry, debit VAT control account 20, credit VAT liability. This VAT liability now is what will be recorded in the balance sheet as a liability, okay? So that shows that this is the amount that I owe to HMRC. So once you now make this payment to HMRC, you now do what? Debit VAT liability, okay, 20, and then you credit expense within the profit and loss statement 20, and that closes off the whole cycle of this account, right? I hope you enjoyed learning this VAT accounting with me. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and I'm going to see you all on my next one. Bye.